Oh yes, unfortunately for everyone, the show must go on. That's right, we're back. Thanks for joining us for Degreelessness tonight, everybody. I'm your host, 21st Century Digital Boy, the people's champion, stunning and brave culture critic, your good buddy in the mix, and the world's last and best hope for peace, the adorable Shanghai Pete. Sorry we've been away for longer than usual, but nothing I really cared about has been happening, and yes, I'm very much ignoring the scores coming out for The Last of Us Part 2. One, because I don't give a shit about that game anymore, and two, because the outcome was utterly predictable, and we all knew it was going to be showered with unabashed praise by the legions of bootlickers in the access media. No surprise here. Now, I must apologize if I disappoint anyone by saying this, but I will not be reviewing that game. I can't afford a $60 exercise in self-flagellation at this point, and after all the leaks, I mean, it is what it is. I sincerely have no desire to play it. If, like the access media, my stunning position of privilege could afford me a copy at no charge, well, that may be a different story, but we all know that that's not very likely to happen. And also, just while we're on the topic of this, if I may be permitted to digress for a moment, I kind of have to say it's really honestly a very sad state of affairs. Even though I didn't slob the knob of the first Last of Us, I did enjoy it, as I've said before, and I would have bought the second one too. If, of course, they hadn't decided to do with it what we all now know that they did. And I don't know, I've got to imagine many people feel similarly. Here I was, a normal, average customer, perfectly willing to spend my hard-earned money on your sequel because I felt that you earned it with the first game. But then you decide to compromise your creative direction and integrity by bending the knee to woke identitarianism, and boom, just like that, now I will no longer give you my money. My default position was going to be to give you the benefit of the doubt because the first game was pretty good and just buy the second one. I was just gonna buy it, no questions asked, sure, looks like it'll be cool, let's pick it up. But now, nope. And whose fault is that? Yeah. And just to be clear, because apparently the concept of nuance is a lost art these days, at face value, I don't have anything against inclusivity or diversity or any other buzzwords that you want to throw at me. There's absolutely nothing wrong with those things by themselves. But if you want your ideas to gain acceptance, put them out there to stand on their own. Don't hitch them to the wagon of already established IPs and properties, hoping to sneak them in under the radar while they're being obscured by already accepted characters and brands like some sort of woke Trojan horse. There's actually a word for this kind of transparent faux activism. It's called tokenism. Approaching the idea of inserting social justice into mainstream culture like this is anything but brave. It's the opposite. It's the behavior of cowards who don't stand behind the principles they espouse because they never believed in them in the first place. They just think it'll make them more money. Until it won't, at which point they'll quietly switch tactics to a different grift and pretend all this never happened, like I wish we all could right now. Anyway, yikes, that was a little more of a digression than I intended, but fuck it, let's leave it in. Moving on, for our main story tonight, we'll be doing another installment of one of my favorite series, I Told You So, PlayStation 5 Edition. Yes, as I'm sure most of you are well aware, Sony's big PS5 event was yesterday, so now we're here to mock them. Let's get right inside it, shall we? Before we kick stuff off, there's a few things that I do want to point out. Firstly, did y'all notice the fine print at the start here? Captured on PS5. Very interesting wording there, don't you think? Almost like it was intentionally crafted to reduce possible liability on Sony's part, which I'm sure it was. They could have said live gameplay or all footage from games being played on PS5 or almost anything else. But they didn't. Captured on PS5 was the wording. I mean, I'm not a tinfoil hat nut job or anything. I mean, not really. But so I'm not reading too much into this, but I do think it's at least a little curious and or concerning that they didn't, loudly announce that this was all live PS5 gameplay. Makes me think a lot or even most of these games aren't even close to as complete as Sony would like us to believe. And lastly, in keeping with the trend that comes with the hype for new consoles of every generation now, the continued insistence on pushing grandiose and hyperbolic rhetoric to describe what is essentially a CPU and graphics card upgrade attached to an SSD is in full effect here. The term revolutionary continues to be a favorite, and this time it's got some friends, namely words like transformative and innovative. And I forget which game it was, but there's even a developer who says a paradigm shift as to what players will come to expect from gaming. Dude, like, I get that you're trying to sell this shit, but come the fuck on. It's a few more polygons and faster load times. Get a fucking grip. This, I guess, is just my way of reminding everyone to please just temper your expectations. That's the lesson of this video overall. Temper your fucking expectations, please. Though, I do suppose the intensely mediocre gameplay on display here will probably go a long way towards doing that job for me. Okay, I promise I'm done now. Here we go. We begin with Grand Theft Auto 5. Fucking what? This shit looks like it's 10 years old. Oh, which it fucking is, by the way. Way to make a case for your brand new console right off the bat by advertising a game almost 10 years old that looks like garbage. We all know why they're doing this, and you see it in the promo that immediately followed this trailer. Because GTA Online makes a lot of fucking money and they want more of it. They just couldn't figure out a way to get you to keep spending it on this ancient game until now, of course. Oh, and naturally it's been expanded and enhanced. In what ways, we don't know, and they certainly aren't saying, especially because the footage they show here is tagged with PS4. Jesus. Not off to a good start here, Sony. Next up, we've got Spider-Man Virtue Signaling Edition. Is there a reason this isn't DLC for the already existing Spider-Man game? Guess I'm not the only one who thought that, though, because Insomniac apparently has already had to issue a statement clarifying that yes, it is a standalone game. This is tokenism, and lazy tokenism at that. I'd be willing to bet this actually was just DLC for the PS4 game until they realized that they could probably make some easy money if they just upscaled it and put it out as a PS5 title. The worst part is that I really like the Miles Morales character, and I think he makes a great Spider-Man. I mean, fuck, who didn't like Into the Spider-Verse? Yeah, this is just a cheap cash-in that minimizes the character and makes the opposite case for the necessity of a new console. Weak. Moving on, it's time for some cutscenes from Gran Turismo 7. Well, the live service interface certainly looks nice, and I guess I'll earn plenty of money for them, and the graphics look fine. Still not seeing any benefit to actual customers or gamers, though. I don't know, you guys tell me, am I being a biased asshole here just because I think this looks last gen? I don't know, I can't even tell anymore. Either way, this doesn't look exciting to me. Pass. Looks like another series got a virtue signaling installment, this time Ratchet & Clank. Actually, okay, no, I take that back. I don't actually know. Is that chick a regular character in the series, or did they just invent her because, 2020? In either case, this just looks like more Ratchet & Clank to me, which is not bad by any stretch. I never really cared for it personally, but I know a lot of people like it, so that's cool. Only shame here is, of course, that unsurprisingly, it looks like yet another PS4 game. I'm told it was worth waiting for the PS5 for this, though, because now we can have ray tracing on Clank. Hooray. I'm sure that's exactly what was number one on everyone's list of features that they wanted in the next installment of this series. I'm sure you made a lot of people very happy with that. And they didn't seem to be able to offer any additional justification either, so great. Up next, we've got another Square Enix game with a project prefix, meaning that it's currently in tech demo state and even they have no fucking idea what they're making. That point is further hammered home by the appearance on screen of basic rote platitudes like truths will be questioned and devotions will be doubted. Ooh, how exciting. Sorry, no further comments on out-of-context renders and footage of someone jumping. Get back to me when you have a game to show. For this next one, I think it's called Stray. Probably will come as no surprise to anyone, but I like the kitty. Cool sort of trap loop in the background, original cyberpunk-inspired aesthetic, nice vibes, cool robot dudes. I fuck with this one. Another 2021 game, though. Looks like that is the case with a lot of these. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I feel like I'm definitely seeing a lot of strong women here. I wonder if that's a coincidence. In this game, it looks like a stunning, brave, and most likely intentionally desexualized strong woman is now taking on the patriarchy in a mixture of Death Stranding and Anthem, so no points for originality here, and certainly no points for anything even remotely resembling next gen. Oh, shit, it was actually these guys that prefaced this trailer, with a paradigm shift as to what players will come to expect from gaming. It's funny, actually, this is exactly what I've come to expect from gaming. bits and pieces of themes and standard tropes tossed together and mixed up yet again in a desperate hope that maybe this will be the time that the result is a combination of things customers haven't seen before, or at the very least aren't instantly recognizable as something they've seen before. Notice how this was almost intriguing until they finally showed some gameplay, at which point it was instantly recognizable for what it was, a bog standard third-person action game. I thought you guys said that there would be a paradigm shift. Where's that at? Now, bear in mind, I say all this not to say that I don't think there's a possibility this could be cool. There is. Maybe it will be. Only that what it definitely will not be is anything even casually approaching a paradigm shift, or something that looks next-gen. Oh, thank God. Seems as though it's time for more Sackboy. I'm sorry, is that funny to anybody else? Yeah, this is a platform game that already looks like it's years behind Mario Odyssey or even Mario Galaxy probably. Oh, and instead of Mario and Luigi, you've got Sackboy. Hooray. Nice graphics too, by the way. Totally couldn't have been mistaken for a PS3 or PS4 game. Great job. Next we have Destruction All-Stars, huh? Nobody hurt themselves coming up with that title. This was so boring, cringe, and basic that it looked like they had an intern do the logo. Nothing more to say about this, except of course that you would have been better off not showing it. Kenna looked cool for a second until they showed actual gameplay and it was revealed to be a basic bitch third-person action platformer. Yawn. Anime, furry, teenagers, for some reason. Sorry, no, we're skipping this. Oh great, Oddworld 1997 is back, and this time it looks like 2007. This is fine, I guess. It looked cool for an Oddworld game. Still have yet to see anything that looks even remotely like it would require new hardware to run. This could have been a PSP game, for fuck's sake. Okay, now, Ghostwire Tokyo, this admittedly looks hard as fuck. Graphics, comparably kind of weak. I mean, sure, the art style is cool, but again, I'm still just not seeing any justification for new hardware or a new console platform at all. I don't know. Oh, and this is also another 2021 game, by the way. Yeah. Godfall from Randy Pitchford and his clowns over at Gearbox. Yeah, this looks fucking retarded. Maybe it's just the insane incongruity of the music choice here, but I don't know. It looks awful. Okay, Solar Ash. I'll give this one to you guys. It looks cool, but it's another 2021 game, and it looks like it could have been done on a PS2. Like, I keep saying it, this is nice and all, but I thought we were supposed to be showing off games for a next-gen system that highlight a transformative and paradigm-shifting gaming. This looks like a Switch game. Hell, it'll probably come out on Switch, and probably before it comes out on PS5 too. Alright, now we've got some definite hardcore gamer PS5 content. Hitman 3. And there's no gameplay. Yawn. Death awaits, huh? Looks like it's gonna be waiting a long damn time because this is yet another game no one will see until 2021 at the earliest. There was another few games shown here, one which had zero gameplay again, and the other that looks like a Sony advertisement poorly masked as like a kid's platformer. I have no comments on those. Next up, we got The Devil Inside. Despite this yet again failing miserably to justify the purchase of a new console in any way, shape, or form, I do like the look of this one. The art and overall style of it is cool, but I don't know, what kind of game is this? Is it going to be anything other than a quirky collection of unrelated scenarios? I hope so, but I don't see any evidence in favor or against that conclusion here. Briefly next, we've got what might be gameplay for the next installment of NBA 2K. Nothing really to say. It's a yearly sports franchise entry. They're gonna fuck around with balancing and come up with new ways to get you to spend money on microtransactions, just like they always do. My roommate is super into 2K, and he told me that they didn't even update the visuals the last time around, and in many cases it was even a downgrade. Yeah, fuck all this shit. Though I should mention, he did say it. This does mean he'll have to buy a PS5 day one so he can play with his friends, so I guess it makes sense for Sony to advertise this. Moving on, here's another cringe-worthy children's game that looks like it could easily have been made on a PS3. This is another one you would have been better off just not showing at all. I fail to see what this does for you in any way. Oh, whew. This one's out in 2020 though, guys. Thank God for that. Be glad that you didn't hear the audio also. It makes it even worse. Now we've got a Demon Souls remake. Great, I guess. Any reason this couldn't have been done on a PS4? No? Okay, just checking. The next game is one from Arcane Studio called Deathloop. These are the guys that did Dishonored 1 and 2 as well as Prey. All very sick games that I really liked. Now, Deathloop does look dope, and as I said, I like Arcane stuff, but I hate this visual style. I'm all about freedom of creative expression and all that shit, so you guys do you, but I'm continually baffled by the choice of showing off games that by and large do not even look close to visually impressive. And this visual style just makes it worse and does not do it any favors. I don't know, I honestly don't understand what the goal is here, unless it's to simply show as much content as they possibly can, regardless of how strong a case some of it may or may not make for the necessity of a new console. Oh, here we go. Resident Evil 8. First person again, which I like. I thought 7 was awesome and more of a return to the Resident Evil 1 style than anything else they've done recently, so I'm fine with that. Anyone else think this kind of looks like a less brown version of the setting from Resident Evil 4? Nebulous Eastern European forests, a castle. I mean, still looks fucking cool as hell, don't get it twisted. Just a little familiar, I guess. I'm sure there will be plenty of people complaining about the werewolves and witches and shit too. And yeah, there's a case to be made for why that stuff does or does not fit in with the Resident Evil aesthetic, but honestly, I'm kind of fucking with it. Reminds me of that Netflix horror movie, The Ritual. You guys ever see that? If not, I recommend it. It's fucking cool. It's about people lost in a forest in Norway, I think. They get all wrapped up in this nightmarish cult shit. Super awesome. Definitely scope it out if you fuck with that kind of stuff. But yeah, Resident Evil 8, Village. I'm with it. You guys just couldn't get it out for launch though, huh? This is the one game that would have had me begrudgingly picking up a PS5 on day one. Nothing else here even comes close, but Resident Evil 8 as a launch title, you would have had me. Sadly, that is not the case. Now, wrapping up, we've got some cutscenes from something called Pragmata, which it looks like a cool idea, I guess, though I hesitate to say that when I'm not even sure that what they've shown is even enough to constitute a fully realized idea, but hey, I mean, it looks cool. Also, 2022, so that's not even on the fucking radar. And lastly, we've got what I'm assuming is a direct sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn, Horizon Forbidden West. Not quite as cool a name as the first one, I might say. And honestly, I don't know, I don't have much to say about this one. I didn't play the first, because most open world games kind of make me go a big rubbery one, though I have always wanted to give it a shot. I heard it's on sale now, so maybe I'll pick it up. I don't know. At any rate, a sequel is cool and would have made for an excellent launch title considering how good the first one did. But instead, no. Instead, not even a nebulous release window. Great. So, in summary, we've got a few cool pseudo ideas, a dope trailer for Resident Evil 8, if that's your thing, a handful of poor excuses for next-gen games, and Grand Theft Auto 5, yet another port of a game that's almost 10 years old. You had one job, Sony, and that was to make the PS5 a day one pickup for me. And let's be honest here, you didn't even come close. All it would have taken was Resident Evil 8 as a launch title, and you would have had me, but couldn't even pull that off. All of which, of course, is not to say that you didn't totally shame Microsoft all the way back to the early 2000s. You definitely did. But then again, they didn't really set a high bar now, did they? Where's all the games looking like Unreal Engine 5 though? Where's that? I thought the PS5 was gonna blow PCs away. I thought it was going to enable the creation of entirely new genres. What happened, guys? I'm just so shocked that no one followed through on even a single one of those promises. I guess a better way of saying all that though is, I told you so. And real quick before we go, yes, it definitely looks like a Wi-Fi router. Yes, the memes are funny, haha. It looks okay, but I'm not blown away. Actually, no, I take that back. I am blown away by how much better it looks than the new Xbox. Wow, think about it. I'd take comparisons to a Wi-Fi router or some character from Wall-E over photoshopped on a fucking refrigerator. Maybe that's just me though. What do you guys think? Better or worse than the new Xbox? I don't know. My only real thought of any substance is probably the same thing most of you are thinking right now. When can we get the black one? Yeah. Okay, that's our show for tonight. Thanks for chilling and spending this little bit of your free time with us. We love you today. We love you all the way. Don't forget to downvote the video, and I guess since this is the PS5 video and I may have accidentally said a few semi-positive things, comment your allegiance to Microsoft or whoever down below, and while you're down there, make sure you never click that subscribe button because ending is better than mending.